Oh shit. Here we go again.
I think Bo Nix is going to be the best quarterback out of this draft. In all honesty, I think at the end of the day, I think Bo Nix will be better. And I'm probably eating my words after Caleb Williams comes out and throws for 5,030 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I think he might be. I think Bo Nix might be better though.
I think Bo Nix
long term
be
because
you look
so he's played so much football.
Yeah,
he's experienced not just at the college level or at the college level. He played a lot of snaps. He played a lot of big time, high pressure football. But then you also look at the coach that he has behind him.
Yeah.
And the system that he's walking into. They might not be good this year. They might not be good the next, 2-3 years. But I think eventually Sean Payton he's going to mold that team into at least a divisional contender year in and year out.
I can't find scores, it seems like. Oh. Load. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Real Conversations with Cozy and Murph. I am scrolling here as we just came to a close on I guess the first real day of some college football. There was a bunch of games going on. I know we had the FSU Georgia Tech game last weekend, which was a huge game and a good game at that. We just, I think we were both just tuned into that North Dakota State Colorado game, trying to see what Colorado is going to be. Initial reactions to some football back. How you feeling? Happy to see some football on TV or what?
Glad football is back. Glad college football is back. I'm just as big of a fan of college football as I am the NFL. I mean, I love them both. A lot of people like one or the other, but a lot of people like both. I'm one of the guys that likes both of them. I like to keep track of both and really, pay attention to just everything going on in both sports. But the Georgia Tech Florida State game, that was a hell of a game to kick the season off with. I'm glad that it was a good game. I think Florida State came in as a 10.5 point favorite, and they ended up losing by 3. All the backlash they got on social media, it was hilarious because they did all this crying because they didn't make the college playoff last year, and they go out and get beat by 60 points by Georgia, and then they come in opening day the following year and get beat by Georgia Tech whenever they're a double-digit favorite. So it's like, I have no sympathy for crybabies like that. So they threaten to leave the ACC. You kind of get, I guess you call it karma for all the, bullshit that you caused. I mean, I can understand being upset, being a Power 5 conference champion and being left out, but you got to look at the circumstances as well. I mean, their quarterback, their Heisman, he was a Heisman candidate pretty much all year, and then he ends up having a very, just unfortunate injury that put him out for the rest of the season, and they had a true freshman backup, I think. So I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look at the circumstances and really just be honest with yourself. And as a Florida State fan, I mean, you just got to, just like I said, just look in the mirror and really think, would that be good for college football for you to go, who they would have played? Was it Texas? Any of the 4 teams that made the college, any of them, they would have got blown out.
Yeah.
Because they just simply couldn't move the ball. If you watch that game, even the ACC championship game when they played Louisville, if you watch that game, they couldn't move the ball. I think the final score was like 16-10 or something like that. I mean, it was not a very good game to watch. So whenever it's about ratings, ESPN, the College Football Committee, they're going to put in the best situation. But now, guess what? We don't have to worry about that this year. We've got the 12-team format coming in. I think that's going to be exciting. I think that's going to bring a whole new. I don't know what the right word is, but just a whole new perspective. Dynamic. There you go. A whole new dynamic to the college game. And it's something that honestly should have been implemented years ago. It shouldn't have taken this long to let this many teams in. So I think that the NCAA finally got something right, and they're going to allow 12 teams in. It's going to be a fun year to watch because now you can, just because you lose a game early or you lose 2 games or you might lose a game late, that doesn't mean your season's over.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't mean your national championships hopes are over. You actually still have an opportunity to win it all. So, I mean, great kickoff. It was a great game to kick off the year, like I said. Georgia Tech earned that one. That was a hard-fought victory. I guess my final thought on that game is DJU, man. He just disappoints.
That poor guy, bro. I feel bad for him.
I mean, I do too. Because he's just a young kid. He's just a young guy. He's just trying to do his best. But man, he's just very underperforming or underwhelming, I guess. High expectations everywhere he's gone. I mean, from Clemson to Oklahoma State and now Florida State. Or maybe he was at Oregon State. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it was Oregon State.
Oregon State. But yeah, I mean, he's had the opportunity. He's just got to max them out. I mean, they got to come out this next week against Boston College, and they got to have a strong showing. I think they come out again as a 10-point favorite. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But that was week 0.
Yeah, week 0.
That was last Thursday. Last Thursday in Dublin, of all places.
In Dublin, and it seemed like it was a great turnout too. The stadium looked fantastic. Yeah, and even everybody knows how big of a fan of Pat McAfee I am, but he's out there in Dublin and
drinking beers,
drinking beers
Guinness.
On ESPN.
Yeah,
having a good time. It was a good setting. It was I feel like if there is a place that is perfect for the college football scene, it's Dublin. Down there drinking Guinness, that's the spot, bro.
For sure. Next year they got. I feel like they need to have Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Go over there and play a game because that would be. The turnout would be sick.
Oh my god.
The Fighting Irish.
Oh my gosh.
The turnout would be sick.
It would be. That's a home crowd. That's
basically. And they don't even watch American football.
The
Fighting Irish.
Yeah. Coming over. That'd be epic. Fun.
And they're ranked number 7 this year, so
I know. That's crazy. Yeah, they got a big game this week against Texas A&M, 20th ranked. So starting off the season, they got a tough little slate for them.
But the Colorado North Dakota State game just ended. That was a good game as well.
That was a good game.
It was closer than it probably should have been. I just don't. The Colorado defense is so they're not good. They're so good. They're so talented offensively, and then it's defensively they do just enough. They did just enough in this game to secure the victory. I mean, it ended up being a 1-possession game. They gave up. They couldn't contain the quarterback, and I mean,
no.
Props to the North Dakota State quarterback. He was running all over the place, made some good plays with his feet and with his arm. They made it a heck of a game. Shadur Sanders came out and did what everybody expected him to do, threw all over the place. I think he had 400-plus yards, 4 touchdowns.
445, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
26 of 34. That's crazy.
He's not even the best player on the team. That's what the crazy thing is. Fucking Travis Hunter is probably the best, most talented athlete as far as football is concerned in the nation.
Yeah.
Playing both ways. What did he go for? Over 100+ yards, 2 touchdowns,
Wow.
three touchdowns.
3 touchdowns, 7 receptions, 132 yards, and 3 tutties, bro.
That's a Heisman worthy.
That's
crazy, that's
bro.
a early season Heisman stat line right there. I mean, if he can maintain that level of output, and then that's not even looking at his defensive stats.
No, exactly.
If he can maintain that level of play throughout the year, he'll probably be there at the end of the year for the Heisman. Him and Shadur and the other Joe Horn.
Jimmy Horn.
Yeah, I was Joe
7
Horn
for 198 and a touchdown.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous as well.
Insane, bro.
Video game numbers.
That's what I texted you. I said it felt like we were watching a damn college football 25 game the way nobody was stopping anybody.
I think that speaks to the realism of the game. Is like it actually, is closer to. I feel like it's closer to realistic than Madden is.
Yeah.
As far as the gameplay wise and just the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
But it was been a good night of football. North Carolina's playing Minnesota right now. They're a 2-point favorite. I don't. You got Jacksonville State and Louisiana Lafayette, or Louisiana Monroe in the fourth quarter right now. There's been a lot of football.
Utah with Southern Utah. Cam Rising got a 5 touchdown game.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Mizzou beat up on Murray State. Kansas beat up on Lindenwood. NC State put it to Western Carolina. That's all I'm seeing right now. Kansas is supposed to be pretty good too. They're 22 ranked. Missouri, they gave it to Ohio State last year. They're 11th ranked. Yeah, they got that Cook kid though. He's a good quarterback.
Dude, the SEC is going to be so fucking nasty this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if the 2 or 3 SEC teams are in that top 12.
With the addition of Oklahoma and Texas, easily 3 teams in the playoff. You got Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a top 10 team.
Yep.
You got Alabama, which I know, losing Saban that kind of brings them down a little bit. But they got a bona fide coach in Kalen DeBoer. They're
still Alabama.
Yeah, a recruiting class that's fucking out of this world. I think I was looking at some of the odds for some of the futures to make the college football playoff, and I really like LSU. I think they're kind of a dark horse.
Yeah.
Them and what was the other? There was another SEC team that had decent odds. I don't know, but I think LSU is kind of a dark horse to watch out for. They have kind of a not a hard schedule. Any schedule in the SEC is going to be tough, but compared to some of these other schedules, they kind of have a softer schedule. I think it's going to be interesting.
SEC's loaded and the Big Ten's fucking loaded too.
The Big Ten's fucking loaded. Who did they bring over? They brought
USC, Washington, Oregon, UCLA.
It's a big year for college football. With the conference realignment, the new playoff format, it's going to be a very interesting.
I think Oregon's going to be gross this year, bro.
I
think Nebraska's a sleeper too. I think Nebraska and that Dylan Raiola kid's going to be good as shit too.
He's a true freshman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he
Matt Rule's a good college coach. I think they're
right. He's a good quarterback coach for real.
They're going to be good, bro.
I think they'll be good. Obviously, there's going to be some growing pains there with having a true freshman at quarterback.
Colorado's got Nebraska next week. That's going to be a good game, I think.
Yeah.
2 duelers right there. I think that'll be a good game to watch. Some good football on this weekend, to be honest, dude. I was just going through it, and a lot of teams open up against these weaker opponents, get things rolling. But Clemson is they're going into Georgia.
You gotta look at the ACC as well. They're kind of top heavy, but you've got Clemson, Miami, Florida State,
Yep.
You know,
Georgia Tech's
Georgia
now
Tech.
beating teams,
they
bro.
could be
Yeah.
a sleeper team to watch out for to
Yeah.
sneak in.
Yeah. What's
So
there? There's another team in there that's usually pretty good. Who am I thinking of? NC State's
Virginia
a top
Tech,
rank.
NC
Isn't NC
State,
State's a ranked
yeah,
team?
Virginia Tech, Duke.
Virginia
Yeah,
Tech, Duke. Yeah, that's a good conference. I mean, they put out good
I mean
football.
they're not the SEC or the Big Ten, but
No,
they are.
it's still good.
Yeah,
We'll see what Clemson brings. I'm excited to kind of see Carson Beck really
for
put
everything I've
together a
seen,
full
they expect Georgia to have another just runaway year,
Oh, I'm
dominant
sure.
year. I'm sure they'll probably run the table as far as regular season goes. I think their closest game. I think they're a double digit favorite in every game so far right now.
We didn't even say Miami. Miami's an ACC
Yeah,
school.
that's what I was gonna say.
The odds on that one, yeah.
I was looking at the futures for that one for Miami. Actually took that one because they had a boost on FanDuel for college football playoff futures, and I put a little bit on that. So I think they're a dark horse to make it. I mean, what are they, number 19?
19, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they'll be pretty good. Alabama's ranked 5, Ole Miss ranked 6, Kansas State 16 or 18, Oregon 3, Notre Dame. There's a lot of good teams starting off the weekend, dude. But probably the most notable matchups of the weekend are like Notre Dame against Texas A&M. That's in College Station, so Notre Dame's got to go in there. USC's going down to LSU. What's USC going to be? USC's 23, LSU 13. And like we said, Clemson, Georgia. Clemson's got to go into the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta and do something. Penn State got to go on the road against West Virginia. I'm excited. Football's back.
Yeah, it's a great feeling,
Yes, dude.
It kind of sucks though, because like with my work schedule, I'm going to be working on the weekends a lot more, and so like I won't get to just sit and watch as much as I want to. I'll have to just watch on my phone as much as I can, try to keep keep tabs on it all. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it.
Are you allowed to have like a headphone in or anything at work?
Yeah, I've got some Bluetooth headphones that I take.
Yeah, put one of them in and just like flip between games and listen to the
I mean,
radio call.
That's usually that's what I did last during the Florida State game. I was working the whole time. I watched pretty much that whole game on my phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a good feeling. I don't know what else you want to really talk about. We could talk about maybe Heisman favorites or who do you see conference winners maybe. I know we've discussed a little bit, but I think the favorites right now is Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson.
Yeah.
And then for the Big 12, I don't really know for the Big 12. Kansas.
The AAC also has Tulane. That's a good team, bro, every year.
But they're not considered like the Power 5, are they? Because the way it goes, it's the first. It's 4 Power 4 champs.
Yeah.
And then
the 4. Fuck no, 5 are auto bids.
Right.
And then it's 3 or 7. Fuck, I can't remember how it works. AAC's American Athletic Conference. That's not a Power 5. The AAC, you got Georgia Tech, NC State, Clemson, Duke, Louisville, Miami, North Carolina. Stanford's now out there in that conference, which is crazy to me. Florida State's in there, they're 10th. If I had to bet, like I feel like I'd probably take Clemson just because, but also I think a sleeper is Miami. I mean, and Florida State, they haven't started conference play, but they're going to be in the running. I'd say if I was putting money down, I'd probably put it on Clemson or Miami to run away with that division.
I would put it on Clemson just because I think Dabo. He's got a year. He's had a year with that quarterback, Klubnik.
Yeah.
He had an offseason with him. I think they're very talented. Their defense, I think, is really going to be the key. That's really what Dabo hangs his hat on, his defense. Every year that Clemson's been good, they always had a solid defense. Even whenever, granted, whenever they had Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence and all the skill players around them, they still had a solid defense if you go back.
Yeah.
So I think if I had to put money on it, I'd put Clemson. And then, like I said, Georgia for the SEC. Probably Ohio State in the Big Ten.
It's going to be tough.
It depends on what Will Howard does.
That's what it comes down to.
Last year, Kyle McCord, he was the downfall. I know I took up for him a lot, but you being an Ohio State fan, that was your main shtick.
That's right, bro. God, he was so fucking.
It was Kyle McCord, and
yeah. Well, I mean, you think about the SEC now, bro. You got. I can't dismiss Texas coming in. I mean, you got
they're number
big
4.
time Quinn. You can't dismiss Alabama, which dude, there's a lot of good teams in the SEC. Oklahoma's gonna be good, bro. Tennessee's still there, and then the Big Ten, you've got Iowa 25, Michigan 9. I think Michigan's gonna have a bad year. Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, USC. You still got Wisconsin, Nebraska. You got some dogs in that conference too. Oregon's number 3. Ohio State's 2. I mean, obviously, if I was betting, I would take Ohio State, but I think Oregon's going to be a good fucking. We'll probably play Oregon in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, I could see that. Really, the most competitive conference or the most
wide open.
Yeah. It's probably the Big 12 because you look at it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
There's not. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ranked teams, but they're all outside of the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Utah is the highest ranked. Then you've got Oklahoma State at 17, Kansas State at 18, and then Kansas at 22.
You got Arizona 21.
Arizona 21.
Yeah.
I think Colorado is probably going to sneak in there for a couple weeks as long as they can take care of business early in the season. I don't know about West Virginia. I've heard, Pat McAfee likes to glaze West Virginia. I don't really know, how realistic it is for them to be a good team this year.
I don't know.
TCU, I think they're going to have a down year this year.
Yeah.
Iowa State, Houston, Cincinnati, Baylor. I just don't BYU. I don't really think UCF. Arizona State. I just haven't heard a lot about these teams, and usually by now you've got an idea of kind of the top 20, 30 teams, and those don't resonate with me.
Yeah,
but I'm not an expert or anything. I just out of the periphery of my my kind of view. If I had to bet. I want to take Kansas. I think Kansas is going to win the Big 12.
Kansas is really fast, as a team.
Well, their quarterback and their running back's really good. But I mean, you can't, like you said, can't dismiss Utah and Cam Rising. I think he could have a Heisman-worthy year. He could be in the finalist. Because last year he had a good year, but he was battling injury for a lot of it. I think they have a good roster.
I think Cam Rising's a pretty good quarterback. He's just getting old, and it's you keep getting hurt so many times, and Lord, how much can your body even really take? If I was betting Big 12, I'm probably gonna say it is Utah because they've got the most vet experience. But, man, it is wide open. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a 3-loss team in the conference championship. I'd reckon say there is.
there will definitely be a 3-loss team in
Yeah.
the playoff. I don't know about the championship, but definitely there might be multiple teams in the 3-loss teams in the champion or in the playoff.
Yeah. 3 quality losses. Lord. All right. Well, college football's back. That's beautiful. Also, the season is upon us for fantasy football.
Yes, sir.
I just went into our sleeper thing and randomized our draft 14 times. And it is now finalized our fantasy position. Would you like to know where you fell?
Sure. Probably dead last.
You are the 1-1 pick.
Really?
1-1. Oh my gosh. Yeah, 1-1. And then Stephen White.
I'm taking
Jesse
Christian
Sent-
McCaffrey.
I mean, I feel like this is the only play you got at 1-1. And then you got to hope it. 1-1 is probably the worst position in the draft. And I'm sorry that happened to you. But I fell all the way to 12. I'm at 12. That's going to be
12
tough.
is probably the best because, I mean, I'll get 2 picks in a row in the next round, third round.
Yeah.
You'll get 2 picks in the first round. Or you'll get the last pick the first round, first pick the second round.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, that's the best place to be, first or last. Really, the worst place to be is right in the middle.
Yeah.
Like 7.
Yeah.
8.
Reardon is 7. Mr. Anderson, 8. Yeah, it should be fun. Exciting times for our fantasy league. It is the year 2 of the fantasy football Cozy and Murph league. We got 2 days, 22 hours until the draft. That'll be Sunday, September 1st, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, so 9:30 your guys' time on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll be either at work or on my way to work, so
yeah,
I'll probably have to auto draft a lot of it. That's what sucks.
Do I need to? Should I move it an hour forward?
I mean,
8:30 Eastern or 8:30 Central?
Because I usually leave by 9:30 at the latest because I got an hour drive and I've got to be there by 11. So
I'd say we only really need like an hour draft.
Yeah, if you put like a minute and 15 or a minute and 10 seconds for each pick, it shouldn't take too long.
Yeah, I'm gonna change that. Sorry, everybody, if you're hearing this now, you're probably seeing that I have. They're probably getting the notification on their sleeper app right now. Now you have 2 days, 21 hours, 31 minutes, and 52 seconds until the draft Sunday night, 9:30 p.m. And Murph has already disclosed his draft strategy. It is draft Christian McCaffrey and hope that nothing bad happens to the one player that has to carry him all season. I don't even know who to take with 12. Like, who's going to fucking be there? I'm going to have to take.
There'll be somebody good. I mean, usually the way it goes is like the first 4 or 5 rounds, it's whoever is the first on the board usually.
Yeah.
But you got to pay attention to, like, whenever the tight ends start going, pick a tight end because everybody's going to start picking tight ends.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Because there's only so many, like, good fantasy tight ends out there. I mean, you've got Laporta, McBride.
Yeah,
Kyle Pitts, maybe
Hopefully.
Dallas Goedert, maybe Schultz from the Texans.
That one buddy that went to Las Vegas. What was his name?
Brock Bowers.
Yeah, Brock Bowers.
I don't know about him. And Njoku, he had a pretty decent. I had him in one of my leagues last year, and he was pretty decent. I mean, he was kind of inconsistent, but he did have a couple games where he had 15 plus points.
Yeah,
so not bad. But I'm just saying, like, you don't want to go quarterback in the first 5 rounds. Like, I would save that until
the only person I can think worth quarterback wise might be Josh Allen. Like, maybe
or Lamar, just because he runs so much.
Yeah,
Lamar.
I might go like fucking. I don't know. Jonathan Taylor, maybe. Marvin Harrison, maybe. Jahmyr Gibbs. That's probably who's going to be there. Debo, maybe. 312. TK. I'll have to look. Puka,
Yeah, I've got
Garrett
three
Wilson.
different leagues. I mean, I've got 3 drafts on Sunday, so I'm just gonna be.
I drafted, Blake. Blake has a league. And in that league, I had the 3rd pick. So I was like, okay, Tyreek's going to fall to me. That's pretty much who I'm probably, or Tyreek or CD is going to fall to me. That's pretty much who I'm going to be stuck with. Whoever was second took Derrick Henry. 1-2. I was like, okay. And then I ended up taking CD because he just signed that contract. And I was like, hopefully it works out. So if I regret not taking Tyreek, I'm going to be sick.
I mean, Tyreek's probably gonna have a hell of a year either way.
I
I
know.
think Justin Jefferson's still gonna be good, even no matter who's throwing to him. Because you look at last year, even with Nick Mullins, he still put up hella numbers. Also, we should probably change the scoring format. I know last year we did point per rush, and running backs were really valuable. So I think this year we'll change it to just points per reception.
So I went in and played with some of the scoring stuff and got some feedback from a lot of the guys in the league in the group chat, and we went with okay, so it is like your typical PPR in that standard. 1 point for every 25 passing yards. 6 points for a passing touchdown. 2-point conversion, like your typical regular stuff. But I did -3 for a pick 6. So I feel like it should be at least half of what your passing touchdown is going to be. Like it's like you know what I'm saying. And then I thought it would be fun, and I kind of wanted to run this by if we're finalizing it. It's like, how about we do some bonuses, like 40-yard completion bonus, 40+ yard pass TD bonus, 50+ yard, and then there was more bonuses too, like say running back runs for 200+ yards in a game. That's an extra 4 points.
That's fine with me. I'd like switching it up because, like
Yeah.
I said, I'm in my other 2 leagues. They just do regular,
Yeah.
Well, one of the leagues is just straight up standard PPR, like
Yeah.
the way just everybody does it.
PPRs, yeah.
And then my other league, we draft defensive players as well as offensive players. So we get about 15 players, and then you draft a defense as well. So
That's crazy.
yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Last
That's a
year, I mean,
lot.
it was fun though. It was fun.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was kind of skeptical because
Yeah.
I'd never done defensive players before. But once, yeah, I mean, it's just like offense. You get points per tackle, points for interception, tackle for loss. All that shit. Pass deflection, all that shit. Sack. You get a certain amount of points. So I mean, it's just like offense, except it's defense.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be. So yeah, I'm open to having boosts or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
think
opposed to
it'd be
that.
Fun to kind of
Make it interesting.
mix it up a little bit. Who? I guess I don't want to ask the like, who would you?
I don't want to give too much away.
That's what I was trying to like kind of cater around. It's like it's like, who's somebody you're targeting?
I don't want to give too much away, but
like, who's somebody you think is going to pop off? Let's say that. Like
I think
under the radar.
Bijan's going to have a fucking huge year this year.
Yeah, I think so
Bijan's
too.
going to have a huge year, and that, I mean, maybe that's just the Falcons staying in me, but
Yeah.
I mean, he's just one of the most explosive athletes in the league. I mean, it's not debatable. That's not debatable.
Yeah.
I think last year, man, like I sent you that thing on Twitter of Desmond Ritter highlights, and it was nothing but just awful, awful, awful passes, like the worst passes you've ever seen. And it's like, man, we had so much talent last year, and now
We
we've got
really
even
did.
more talent this year, and we've just been so underwhelming in the past. Since we drafted Kyle Pitts, we've kind of wasted Kyle Pitts. If you really think about it, he's been in the league for what 5 years, and he's only got six touchdown passes in 5 years, and he's one of the and he's rated every year as one of the best on paper tight ends in the league because you can line him up at receiver as well.
Yeah.
But to get to my point, I just think he was Bijan was underutilized last year, like a lot of our skill players were. I think Arthur Smith was just an idiot, dude. Like, why are you gonna hand it to Tyler Algier? Why is he going to get more carries than Bijan and more touches whenever you drafted Bijan in the first round? And no offense to Tyler Algier, he's been a solid player for us, but it's like he doesn't have the juice like Bijan does. I mean, Bijan, not to glaze Bijan so much, but I just think he's going to have Kirk and the offensive coordinator. I can't remember his name right now. They're going to make a concerted effort to have Bijan be a critical part of the offense. I feel like
prominent part of the offense. Yeah,
they're going to have to get the run game going early because Kirk. I mean, he as much as I hope I hope he has the greatest year of his career. But let's be honest, he's 6, 7, coming off an Achilles injury. That's a pretty bad injury to have. He's going to have to rely on getting the run game going early, play action, that type of deal. He doesn't have not that he was ever super athletic in the first place, but he doesn't have the mobility that he did 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. So he's gonna have to rely on some of his younger counterparts to kind of carry him. We paid him a lot of money, so
I think that guy, the Zamir White, I think he's gonna be pretty good this year. I think he's gonna be I think he's gonna be somebody. He's gonna have to fill in. I think what's his name? I think that Keon Coleman, the rookie for the Bills, is gonna have a big year. I think Anthony Richardson, he stays healthy, he's gonna be a big fantasy quarterback this year. Somebody I'm leery on is Breece Hall. With Aaron Rodgers' return, I think we see more of an uptick in Garrett Wilson rather than an uptick in Bijan or Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Unless he plays out of the backfield, I don't know. I think downside guys probably like I could see Jonathan Taylor taking a step back. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. He was a big one last year.
I don't really trust anybody with the Chiefs yet.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, I think he's still one of the best tight ends in the league, but he's not a great fantasy tight end per se. I mean, he was pretty much non-existent for the first half of the season as far as fantasy wise. Trust me, I know because I drafted him. I drafted him and Patrick Mahomes, and they both sucked for the first half of the season. And then finally, towards the end, they turned it on, but it was too little, too late. I'd already, lost too many games to really make a difference in the playoffs. So
it's like Kittle. Kittle's not a good.
Yeah, Kittle. He's not, but he's the type, and I know kind of echoing what they said on Pardon My Take is like he does a lot of things that don't show up in the scorecard or in the box score.
He's a great football player.
Yeah, I mean he is probably the best blocking tight end in the league.
Yeah.
So I mean,
maniac.
Yeah, he'll have one game where he has 85 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then he'll go 2 games without a catch or something, or with 2 catches for 8 yards or something. So it's just hard. Tight end is kind of a tricky position. You really have to have a pass happy offense and a more of an athletic build type. I feel like that's why everybody gets so high on Kyle Pitts when it comes fantasy season, even though he hasn't performed. a lot of the time.
You know who I'm not drafting this year that I've drafted the last 3 years? Fucking Mark Andrews, bro.
He's injury prone. I think that's one guy I was going to say. I was going to say Isaiah Likely. I think he'll be
he'd be a good one to have.
A sleeper type pick.
He's like one of them guys you stash away. Yeah, put him on your bench. If all else, if it starts getting hot,
Isaiah Likely. I like Zay Flowers.
I think the Ravens' offense is going to put up some points this year. They're going to be grosser than they were. I think the Chiefs' offense could be.
Dude, I think another person I think is going to have a huge year is Saquon.
Oh yeah,
I think Saquon's going to have a nice year.
I don't know if Trey and Brady and Seth listen to the podcast like all the way through, so I feel comfortable in saying this. But this big money league that I'm in, it's big money. It's not big money. It's like $70. It's big money to me. I've got the third pick, and I am seriously considering taking Saquon with the third pick.
I mean, they're going to utilize him though. You know, he's going to have high usage.
Yeah, because it's like usually if you have the number one running back in the league, you probably have the best fantasy team. Like you have a contending fantasy team, and it's like my brain is like, I don't trust a lot of these running backs, but I know they're gonna fucking use Saquon.
Yeah, I mean he's up there with McCaffrey, because it's just like McCaffrey. You know they're going to use him. He's going to get 15, 20, 25 touches a game, whether that's running the ball, catching the ball, whatever. And they didn't pay Saquon all this money to just not use him.
Yeah.
So he's going to get probably 18, 20 touches a game on average. Because he can come out of the backfield and catch a ball, catch a screen, catch an out route, catch a Texas route or whatever. So, and I mean they're loaded offensively. Philadelphia is. Y'all just added Jahan Dotson.
He's going to be so wide open sometimes.
He's wide receiver 3 because you still have AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
And got Dallas Goedert.
So it's like
Saquon, Jalen Hurts. We got a fucking offensive unit.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah. It's actually stupid how much firepower you have offensively.
I know we're going down the Philly trail right now, but I can't believe that they traded Jahan Dotson to us for nothing.
Yeah, and that was an interdivisional trade.
Trade. Like, how stupid you got to be.
Well, let's just put it. Washington's not known for their football savvy.
Poverty franchise, bro.
They're not really known for their smart football moves.
September 4th. I'm excited for fucking football.
Yep. Kansas City and Baltimore.
Yeah,
first game of the year. Yeah, that's the AFC Championship last year.
Yeah.
Baltimore's
going to come out looking for blood.
Yeah.
King Henry in a Ravens uniform is going to look sick.
And Lamar, he's going to be looking for redemption because of the way that game went.
Yeah.
He kind of sold in the late parts of the game. He threw that pick in the triple coverage. The guy wasn't even open. I think he was throwing to Isaiah Likely in triple coverage and it ended up being intercepted. It's going to be interesting to see what the Chiefs look like.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of shakeup on their roster as far as I know. They still have their core guys. They still have, Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, McDuffie, what's the linebacker? I can't remember his name. Number 32. Anyway, they still got their core guys, but they've added, Hollywood Brown, drafted Xavier Worthy. They got rid of L'Jarius Sneed. They've had a little bit of roster turnover, so we'll see what happens. They did cut Kadarius Toney. Did you see that?
Fuck
They cut Kadarius Toney. Also, and maybe I know I'm on the verge of sounding like a hater, but Desmond Ridder got released from the Arizona roster. He got beat out by Clayton Tune.
Blatant.
This
team.
guy, Desmond Ritter, went from a starting quarterback last year to not even being able to beat out the backup quarterback for Arizona last year. It's like, that just tells you how stupid Arthur Smith really is. Like, he really had Desmond Ritter out there starting, trying to make him a
Fucking
winner.
slinging it, bro. Slinging
And
it.
the sad part is like, if you watched any of Desmond Ritter in college, like, he was a pretty good quarterback, you know.
Yeah.
But then he got to the NFL, and it was like, I feel like it was too much, too fat, too soon, and he kind of was thrown to the wolves. He didn't have a chance to really develop in any way. He's got, you know, a pretty strong arm, and he's athletic. He can escape the pocket. He can get out, and but when it comes to like the thinking part of the game, he's out to lunch. It's like some of the throws that he made, and I'm not saying like I could go out there and do that. Like, I'm not saying that at all. Like, obviously these guys train their whole life to fucking be able to go out here and do it. But I'm just saying, like, just from a basic, you know, knowledge of football, some of the throws that he made was just like, what are we even thinking right now? Like, what what do you see right now? You throw it right to the place where there's a defensive guy. It's like, well, this is not going to end well, you know.
He's
Maybe he can go to the Canadian League or something and play, but I just don't see him on an NFL roster.
somebody else will give him a shot, especially late in the season.
Maybe practice squad, but I don't think. I don't know.
You can't be Clayton Tune, bro.
Clayton fucking Tune. I don't even know.
Who?
Like, I've heard the name.
Yeah, he played
I know he played for Arizona last year. He started a couple, or at least one game.
After they got rid of Dobbs and Kyler wasn't back yet.
Yeah. After they had given up on the season, after Kyler went out for the all right, one more guy I think will have a big year, and I'll end with this, is I think Marvin Harrison's probably going to have a pretty good year.
Yeah.
I think Arizona, they they drafted Trey Benson. I think he's going to be good. He's going to be behind James Conner starting out, but we'll see how it goes. Trey McBride is another up and coming tight end. I feel like he's going to be a weapon. Kyler is now, I feel like you can kind of put him in the seasoned vet type category because he's got a few years of starting under his belt, so he knows what it takes to be successful in the league. And I think, like I said, Marvin Harrison, he's got the potential to be like a Justin Jefferson type receiver where it's like, fuck it. Marvin Harrison's down there somewhere, just fucking toss it up.
Maserati Marv.
Yeah, he'll just toss it up and he'll go get it,
I think the Cardinals could be a sleeper sneaky, like could beat you any week.
If they weren't in the division with San Francisco, I could see them making the playoffs.
Yeah.
But
they got a good little squad.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard to get past the Rams and Seattle, the Rams, and San Francisco.
Yeah,
they've got potential though. That is a pretty competitive division, even though the 49ers have kind of ran the division for the last decade. But
re-signed. You seen that
with the 49ers?
Yeah.
That's why I say, like, I hate whenever people freak out and they're like, "Oh my god, Ayuk, where's he gonna go?" And it's like, he's probably gonna play with the same team. Like, that, right? It's like, I had one of my friends text me, and she's a big Bengals fan, and she's always talking about like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and she was talking about Jamar Chase because I guess he's holding out. He hasn't been practicing.
Yeah.
He wants a contract, renegotiate his contract. And I'm like, yeah. She was like, I'm just worried. It's just worrisome. It's just like, I'm concerned about Jamar Chase. I was like, Well, he's no matter what, he's probably still going to play because you
And
don't
game checks,
play,
bro.
you don't get paid.
Yeah.
And then like up until a certain week, I think it's like week 10. If you haven't played, then you forfeit your entire salary for that year. So
Yep.
he's going to play regardless. Like that's what like holdouts hardly ever work unless it's like last year with Chris Jones. He held out for the first week. He held out for 1 week, and they lost to Detroit. And the very next week, he had a new contract. So
They were like, "Fuck, fine." But it's
So,
not
I
like
mean-
it wouldn't be like that in San Fran. They'd go out, probably win. Their offense would look fine. And
yeah, I mean, because if Ayuk doesn't want to play, then they have that Pearsall guy that they drafted from Florida. And it's
that Pearsall guy's gonna be pretty good too.
I think Lad McConkey too. He's going to be good.
He's gonna be nice. There's some good rookies to look for. I think Blake Corum's gonna have a good year, splitting time with Kyron Williams. I think he's gonna be pretty good. I think he's a good.
I hope if Atlanta has a good year, I don't think Michael Penix sees the field except in like garbage time.
No, I think Penix is going to be really good. Actually,
I think Bo Nix is going to be the best quarterback out of this draft. In all honesty, I think at the end of the day, I think Bo Nix will be better, and I'm probably eating my words after Caleb Williams comes out and throws for 5,030 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I think Bo Nix might be better though.
I think Bo Nix
long term
be
because you look yes, he's played so much football.
Yeah,
he's experienced not just at the college level or at the college level. He played a lot of snaps. He played a lot of big time, high pressure football. But then you also look at the coach that he has behind him.
Yeah.
And the system that he's walking into. They might not be good this year. They might not be good the next, 2-3 years. But I think eventually Sean Payton he's going to mold that team into at least a divisional contender year in and year out.
Yeah.
That's what makes me nervous about Caleb Williams is, they've got all this talent. They've got this brand new team. They've got all this hype. But I don't feel like I'm not confident in Matt Eberflus as a quarterback coach. He's a defensive guy. And so, it kind of falls to the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach to mentor. And it's not like Caleb Williams has a veteran guy behind him that he can kind of fall back on and get advice from. It's like Tyler Bagent, I guess that Ripien guy. I mean, that's the oldest guy.
Him,
But I mean, it's not like so. That's just what makes me nervous about Caleb Williams. I'm not trying to say he's not going to have a good year. I think he'll have a fine year, especially with all the talent around him. But the foundation might not be there as much as it is for Bo Nix. That's my argument there.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Bo Nix is more ready to step into the stage than Caleb Williams is. I think the ceiling is higher with Caleb Williams, but I think the floor is higher for Bo Nix. The consistency for Bo Nix is more like this, where Caleb could go, 1 week he might throw for 450 yards. The next week, he might throw 2 interceptions. And I think
that's probably what the issue was for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a lot of, really good games, and then he had games where he looked awful. Yeah. So I think it really comes down to, especially with young quarterbacks, the coaching foundation that you have when you come into the league. So, I think Bo Nix will at the end of the day, he'll probably end up being a better overall, player.
Yeah. I'm excited.
But like I said, who knows? 5 years from now, somebody can clip this and be like, freezing cold fucking take. Yeah.
Freezing cold.
After Caleb Williams has won 3 MVPs and 2 Super Bowls and broke records and shit.
I'm excited to see a lot of these rookies pan out or see what they become and I think this is good. It's like the feelings of going into a football season. All the hopes and shit are all high, and everybody's feeling good about their team. I'm excited to see being right here in Cincinnati, like right outside Cincinnati. There's a lot of chatter about the Bengals, like we were saying. Yeah, you got your friend that's Bengals fan, but I think that's going to be exciting, and being around an NFL city, I don't know how to describe the buzz, but it's like
it's cool.
It's different. It's a different like feeling. Everybody's walking around, and everybody's excited for football.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a different vibe.
Yeah, last year me and my cousin, we went to that Cincinnati, Minnesota game.
Yeah,
and it's just like on game day, like the city just has like a buzz. There's just like a different type of energy, like it's just like everybody's just like excited and ready to go and hopeful. And it's like for that one day, I was a Bengals fan, because I was going to root for the home team. I had money on the home team, so I was a Bengals fan for that one day. And it was like, you see the other team's fans are like, boo, fuck you, y'all suck,
and
it's just like that type of primal tribalism that's just so deep rooted in humans that we have to pick a team and be like, pick a side. Yeah.
I'm excited.
And it's just fun, it's a good time. And I would like to go to another game this year.
Yeah.
Cincinnati or maybe Nashville.
You need to come up for the fucking when the Eagles come to Cincinnati. I'm telling you, that's going to be a good ass time, bro. It's going to be fun.
Do the Bengals play the Eagles?
Yeah, Philly comes to town October 20. It's like the end of October or something. But
that's like around my birthday. My birthday's on the 21st, so
I think it's the 27th. I want to say.
Maybe I'll try to get tickets. It depends, like I said, on my work schedule and shit, but we'll see. Let's see, October.
Yeah, it is October 27th. It's a 27th.
Sunday. Oh, I'm on midnights that day.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about this job. Not to get too far, like I know we're at the end here, but like they have your whole schedule planned out for the whole year, so you can just look at any date and know, if you're working that day or not.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. I'm excited. I'm going to that game at least. I don't care if I'm going by myself. I'm fucking going to that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
you could probably get tickets for pretty cheap too.
Yeah, I think last I looked, they were like the nosebleeds were like 150 something, and I'm like, well, if I'm already gonna spend $150, I might as well spend $100 more and try and get lower bowl. Get closer, you know what I'm saying? If my team's coming to town in the city that I live, I might as well spend the money and like fully dive into being like the enemy coming in. Like I might as well do it.
Yeah, even though you live right down the road, you're cheering for the other team. So
yeah, that'll be a good time. Last thing I want to touch on too before we call this a wrap, I want to show love to Shohei Ohtani, 40-40 in 100, and it was like 26 games, which is like 25 more or 25 less games than anybody has ever done.
Is he gonna win the MVP or?
He'll win.
He'll probably win the NL. And
NL.
Aaron Judge will probably win the AL.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Aaron Judge is on pace to break his own record, home run record. He's on pace for 64, and the record is 63.
That boy's juicing.
Bro, he's hitting bombs.
They're all probably juicing. I mean, it's probably just as bad as it was back in the day.
Well, the thing is too, Aaron Judge might win the fucking Triple Crown, bro. He's hitting 330, leads the league in home runs and RBIs, bro. Aaron Judge and Juan Soto are having think about the greatest duos to ever play together, like Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, like those kind of duos. Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, what they're doing, they're literally carrying. It's like when LeBron James was young. Yeah, they're carrying the Yankees. Like when LeBron used to carry the shit ass Cavs with fucking Gauskas
and
as his center.
Vergel.
Yeah, like that's literally what they've got. This.
So the Yankees might be good in the playoffs this year, or
It's going to come down to Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. I mean, Garrett Cole's been out pretty much all season.
I'm going to be honest with you. I
Garbage.
haven't looked at anything baseball related since the Derby.
Being at work, I watch. I have the MLB.
Yeah, I'm sure you watch a lot of baseball.
Yeah, I watch the Reds every single night. I watch every Reds game. Like, we just lost 2 out of 3 to the fucking Oakland Athletics. Fucking don't even. I'm not going down that path. I just want to give love to Shohei Ohtani. He might be the first player.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to drag that out of you. My bad.
He might be the first player to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases. It might be the first ever 50-50, which is really, I mean, he's at 41-41. So, and then I also seen a thing too. This is just a off the wall stat. This season, as great as it is would be Barry Bonds' 11th best offensive season.
That's crazy. And he's not in the Hall of Fame.
That's so crazy.
That's why baseball sucks. It's like, just put him in. Put him in. Put him in. Put Pete Rose in. Put Mark McGwire in. Fuck it. Who cares? Everybody was juicing back then.
No,
people bet on games. Guess what? Who cares?
Exactly.
They were still fucking really, really good. They were good enough to fucking be in the Hall of Fame, dude.
Barry had a Hall of Fame career before he did the juice, bro. He just
That's what I'm saying.
To do some more.
Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Baseball? Come on, stop being like that.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. Yeah, and another off the wall stat. There's only been 3 other players who have had 3 seasons of 50 or more home runs, and Aaron Judge is now one of the 3 to ever do so. Barry Bonds is not one of them.
Well,
crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this episode, like, comment right here. I think it'll be. Hit subscribe and tell somebody that you love them. We appreciate you. Thank you for taking an hour out of your day to make us a priority. And Murph, hope you have a good rest of your week. I'm headed up to Michigan tomorrow. Y'all be good. Y'all be safe. Love you guys. Peace.